Hi, Nishant. Thank you so much for being here and agreeing to help these students out over there. So, how does it feel like to score a 720?
Uh, it's elating. I mean, it's a good score that I've been told that it's a good score, and I prepared it for 1 month, and I think it's an amazing feeling that I've achieved something. Yeah.
Great. That's an excellent feat to achieve at 720 in 1 month, and that's great. Before we get started, it would be great if you could just provide some brief introduction about yourself, as in where you work, how you carried out your process, and everything.
Yeah. So my full name is Nishant Sharma, and I hail from a small town near Ludhiana, Punjab. And currently, I'm working at Morningstar India as a research associate in venture capital team. Mm. So most of the time, my daily routine takes up most of the time is taken up by my job. So yeah, that's about it. I mean, can
Okay.
tell you more about it because most of the time I'm working and the work is I want uh, I try not to bore you with my work. So.
Yeah, no worries. That's excellent. So, how did you arrive on this decision that you have to, take GMAT or pursue MBA? So, what was this thought process behind it?
So initially my plan was to pursue MBA. It wasn't about GMAT or it's usually GMAT is pursued if you are planning to go to abroad for your MBA. So initially my plan was to just pursue MBA no matter what, it's in India or it's in abroad. So I've been doing investment since 2016 during my engineering days. So I was very fascinated about the whole prospect of finance industry. I plan to pursue my MBA in order to get more skills and knowledge about financial industry. So I wanted to change my line of work. So and then GMAT was see basically what I wanted to achieve in my lab was to get some international exposure. And working as an engineer, it was very difficult to get international exposure because you need at least 10 to 15 years of experience that you can work on, and then you can work on international projects and everything. So by getting a GMAT and pursuing my MBA from abroad, I think it's a great opportunity and so much less time that I can get myself known with internet, global economy and global markets and the trends that are being right now being focused on at international level. So that was my whole plan.
Great. Okay, so the decision was mostly driven by these two factors: the change in career shift that you're looking at, right? The shift in the career, and the second one is your access to the global market, right? So that's the second factor. Great to hear a lot of that's very logical to do so. And with this, let's quickly move on to the major part of this, the best part of this conversation. So, what were your initial fears? You have taken the decision, you've thought of everything, but then when you went out to take this first step, what were your initial fears about your GMAT preparation?
Initially, my first step was to look up what I'm sorry, look up what was requirements of GMAT. I mean, what are the courses that I have to pursue and subjects that I have to get accommodated to. So when I looked at that official GMAT's website and I checked out all the topics that I have to cover, it was overwhelming because it has been quite a while that I've left my education days behind, and it was mostly maths, that is quant and verbal reasoning, and you do not get all those your daily life when you're working professional. So that was very overwhelming for me to get accommodated to all those topics of quant, like mostly I struggled in, I'll tell you frankly, those absolute equations where you have to like uh, uh, do those arithmetic equations and everything. So and then since I was working at my current job and it takes 12 to 14 hours daily of my time. So time management was another factor that I was very fearful of, if I'll be able to even get time for my preparations for GMAT as well. So it was, these two factors were initially the most, I was, I'll tell you, I was dreaded by these two, thinking about these two things only.
Great. So one was the time management and the other was the exhaustiveness of the course that needs to be covered. Great,
Right,
great,
right.
great. So how did you get past those, fears? So what were those factors that drove you to, this is the course that for example, when you would have narrowed down to this GMATWhiz, what were those specific factors? So how did you know that, you would be able to get your thing done over here?
So what I did was, when I overcame those factors, I was trying to look for some career, some guidance in GMAT course. So I was like every millennial does these days. I first of all Googled GMAT courses and GMAT consultants for specific reasons, right? So then I'll tell you frankly, I went through a lot of those GMAT preparing guide market and everything that people are offering. So then finally I was fortunate to land on GMATWhiz website, and I went through their demo classes and like, yeah, right. And what I liked the most about that prospect was they were providing a comprehensive approach to somebody like me who was a professional who had just 26 hours rarely in his week to prepare for. So they were providing me with those facilities of time management as well as study planning guidance. So that's when I landed on GMATWhiz, and I think my first reaction was that, yeah, I have struck gold with GMATWhiz now.
Great, great, great. Great to hear such remarks. Thank you, Nishant. So what did you see in those webinars or the classes that you attended, the demo classes or webinars that you attended? So was this the approach, or were they the way they attempted the question, the strategy is what that attracted you towards them? So what was that driving factor in those classes?
So the best factor in GMATWhiz classes was that their approach to technology, like most of the things now are being done virtually. And yeah, I can tell you frankly that people like me who are professionals cannot go to attend those classes, or even they have time to join private tutoring. So the most extraordinary factor with GMATWhiz was their approach to artificial intelligence technology. Their study plan. I mean, this is suggested by that artificial assistance, and then I'm sorry, and then yeah, and then the best factor was that I personally liked was that GMATWhiz that they're calling it. It's a quiz on verbal as well as quant section, and the most interesting factor is it's divided into three parts, that you can take a concept booster quiz where you can strengthen your even topics that you are good at, and there is quiz on topics that you are lagging behind, that you can focus on that. And there is third, which is most important which was more important for me. It was managing time, quiz on managing time. It was just a quiz with couple of questions, and they were trying to help you manage time with that. So this approach, I really like that. And even if you take one quiz, the other quiz will be different, because the technology is based on artificial intelligence. Your previous record or your previous attempt is totally dependent on what you have learned in your study plan, right? And the next attempt is then again driven from the previous attempt. So it's just a very progressive approach, for if I can say that. So yeah, this was the best thing about GMATWhiz. I mean, that artificial intelligence thing.
Right? Great. Thank you for that. So let's take a step back and see. Okay, so you've taken a decision. You've now you've narrowed down the course to GMATWhiz. So now the second step would have been to organize your whole preparation journeys. How did you structure your journey post that?
So the best thing about GMATWhiz was that I didn't do anything.
Okay.
As soon as I logged into my that portal, everything was organized for my convenience. They just ask you a couple of questions, what kind of time commitment you can give weekly, and like initially you have to give a mock test on which your further suggestions are given on your study plan, and everything is just automated. You don't have to worry. I guess it's just one thing less to worry about. So everything being automated for that aspect. So it was really helpful for me. Yeah. So it was smooth for me, since like I didn't have to worry about time management or what kind of topic should I first focus on. Everything was, it was suggestive by GMAT.
Great,
Yes.
great. So now you are into the preparation journey. So what was the thing that you focused on most while solving the question? Was it like only solving or practicing the number of questions, or where did the focus lie?
So basically, I guess it's been 5 years since I last picked a academic book. So my focus was on concept boosters. I have to just brush up my concept. So with that, GMATWhiz provided a very good option, that it was giving me suggestion on a study plan, that after going through the first mock test, it was suggesting me that personally, my verbal section was a bit weak. I scored 33 on a verbal section in a mock test, and then it provided me with such guidance that most of the weightage was that I was lagging in RC questions. So yeah, so suggestively it provided me with that guidance that I have to I can perform better in RC questions, because my concept on RC files, that evaluation questions and primary objective of the question, those kind of questions, I was lagging behind that. So I focused on mostly on that section of GMAT. So that was my whole approach.
Okay, so coming on to one of the weak areas that you have just mentioned, for example, RC. So when you identified those weak areas, for example, in this instance, RC, how did you work on to eliminate it? Because so you might have to work on different parts. For example, there would have been an instance where you would have seen that, my reading is not proper, or I'm not focusing on every option. I'm just, rushing through the answers. So what was that stage, and how did you get past that stage?
So yeah, as you told already, that it was about speed, but the biggest misconception is that people are not very fast readers. I'm a very fast reader, but I still lag behind in the RC section. The reason was because I was not following the correct strategy. So what GMATWhiz helped me with was that it, first of all, just provided me with the knowledge of how to approach all these questions. There's this famous GMATWhiz strategy of 3-step. First is in RC question. First is to identify premise and conclusion of each paragraph, not just the whole comprehensive passage, but each paragraph. And the next, then next step GMATWhiz suggests is that we should identify all those, we should summarize all those paragraphs accordingly. Yeah, and the third and the most famous is the A step, the answer choice elimination, wherein we have to identify not just the correct answer, but we have to also eliminate all the wrong choices. So initially, even GMATWhiz suggests that initially the process will take time. I was taking 6 minutes or 8 minutes on a single question, but as I was more familiar with the strategy, and I was practicing daily with the same strategy, it took less than 1 minute to identify all those, summarize all those paragraphs, and I was able to complete the whole passage in under 2 minutes. So this is how I approached my weak spot.
Great, great. So since RC is also dependent on two sections, that is SC and CR, which forms the basis of RC, right? So it's quite logical to derive that conclusion that if you're struggling in RC, you might have been struggling in one of the section as well, right? So if there was any such scenario that, if you were facing a little bit of hard time in either SC or CR question, then what approach or strategy did you follow that, helped you get past that?
So the funny thing is, when I was too much focused in RC questions, so the same strategy could be used in CR questions as well. So, but I didn't realize that. I realize it now that when I followed the GMATWhiz RC strategy, I didn't feel that CR questions were getting difficult now. Initially, they were difficult. I was trying. I was able to solve those 50% of the questions, but still, 50% of solving CR questions is not enough to get a 700 plus score. So what I didn't realize was that what I built, what my foundations were built in RC questions, and those strategies, following the RC strategies, those were also helpful in CR questions. Now coming back to the SC questions, then GMATWhiz has a very good approach there as well. They have this again the famous 3-step strategy in SC questions as well. They have this identifying the modifiers, which is the most important aspect of SC question, because most of the questions are based on modifiers. So what they try to do is they help you identify the modifiers. They divide the modifiers into 3 categories, which are verb ed modifiers, ing modifiers, and noun modifiers. So GMATWhiz specifically gives you this area of study plan where you can just focus on SC questions based on these three strategies. So it provides you comprehensive approach, but also it helps somebody like me who spent just 1 month on GMAT preparation. It gives you a chance to skip most of the topics which are irrelevant to GMAT. Like if you can solve the questions based on 3-step strategy, where you have to follow, where you have to go and approach SC questions using, I guess, 8-point strategies, which is mostly famous in the current market. So I guess it was very helpful for me, who had very little time to prepare for GMAT and give his exam. So yeah.
Great to know about your journey, how you structured your prep, and then how you get past your weaknesses, transforming them into weaknesses. It's like a quite structured and well thought of approach that you took towards your goal. So let's say now everything is done and you're there finally in the examination room. So you have had that, real time experience of, with this hardcore job and pulling it off with a great score, which is a 720. So what, do you think is the most important thing that one should take care of while he or she is into the exam?
So the most important thing is, I mean, it's been said enough not to get nervous, but the most important thing is if your concepts are clear, if you do not have to follow any, I mean, you do not have to just cram all those concepts. You just have to follow, I guess, the 3-step strategy is the best strategy I've seen. I mean, I've experienced demo classes from many GMAT providers, and I guess if you can just conclude all those topics in 3 steps, it's the most important, and it will help you in the real life experience as well. Like when you're giving the exam, you do not have, I guess, initially it is suggested that do not take more than 2 minutes on each question. So I guess 3-step strategy takes almost 30 seconds to just quantify all those results. So I guess if you have that strategy with you to clarify your concept, so I guess it's very helpful with that. Initially your concept should be clear. Moreover, time management, when your strategies are clear, I guess time management, it's not going to be a problem. I completed my exam quant as well. I had 6 minutes left, So I completed that 6 minutes earlier. That's, and verbal is most of the people take almost completing the verbal section right till the end. It's just one last 10 seconds, and they're still struggling to find the answer. So I completed that earlier as well. So it was very helpful. So if your concepts are clear, I guess your time management will be, your time will be efficient, and your answers will be more into correct side.
Great. So that means if you're working on the application of the concepts and you have the right approach and strategy in hand, then your confidence gets boost up, and you're more confident while marking the answers. You take less time, and then that's how your time also improves. So everything is a consequence of your approach and the way you are, structuring your thoughts while solving that question. Great thoughts, Nishant. So finally, what advice would you give to people, especially since you have been in that, all-time job, which is very demanding? So many people out there, you have this thought in mind, okay, so I'm working, these many hours a day. Will I be able to pull this thing off or not? So what advice would you give to, specifically to these working professionals who have this fear of preparing for GMAT and, getting done with it?
So basically, it's very hard to juggle work and your personal ambitions, especially when these two are not aligned. And so my suggestion would be to first of all get thorough experience of GMAT, what GMAT is, and I'll suggest to not just approach GMATWhiz, but to approach every other service provider there, right? And then you'll know the difference between GMATWhiz and other service providers. See, basically the virtual world, it's for professional like us, we have spent a lot of time working and less time on academics. So we need that personal approach to clearing our concepts. So what GMATWhiz provides, and others do not provide, is every other provider, GMAT guidance provider, is giving us those virtual online classes. These are called online classes, wherein all the concepts and questions are uploaded on our website, and these are just preloaded and just pre-planned. So I suggest everyone to just go through GMATWhiz website once, take their demo class or take their trial version. First of all, you'll experience that their AI version is just it's
personalized.
Oh yeah, it's personalized, and it's you do not feel like you're just watching a video. You feel like suggestions are being given, your strengths and weaknesses are being quantified, and they are telling you what your next step should be. Your study plans are just prepared for you. You can even customize those. You can speed up the process, or you can slow it down. You can just skip one or two topics if you are good at those. So I suggest everyone to just once go through the GMATWhiz trial version, and they'll know the difference.
Great.
Nothing much more to say.
Thank you for such an appreciation, Nishant. So finally, now everything is set and done. So what schools are you planning to apply to, and in which round are you targeting? Which intake are you targeting?
So I'm first of all, I'm targeting in 2022 batch.
Okay.
Next year, and the first round has been done, and I'm trying to apply in second round. And like everybody's dream is to get into an Ivy school, so is mine. So I'm planning to move. I've narrowed down few colleges, and on the top of my priority is I guess Harvard. Okay. So I'm planning to join Harvard, as well as another college that is it has been I guess a pillar of financial world, which has been London Business School. So yes. I'm there as well. So yeah, great. These are my top.
So these are your top of the choices. Howard and LBS, great choice, Nishant. So I think that's great to hear such words and insights from your side, how to manage your preparation, especially from the perspective of a full-time working professional who has actually made it through. It was extremely insightful, and I think it will help many people. in the coming front. So thank you for joining, Nishant. Thank you very much.
And I would like to thank Piyush as well. He has been instrumental in my journey through GMAT. I mean, and the whole GMATWhiz team. I mean, you guys have been working on this for so long, and you guys have truly, I guess, changed the whole market of GMAT preparation with your artificial intelligence tool. I mean, hats off to you guys.
Great.
Thank you so much for
Thank
all
you
the
for
help.
such remarks, Nishant. Thank you.